Right. I have changed to subscribers only mode. Hello, hello, hello. I have changed to subscribers only mode. Why? Okay. Because there's this fucking guy that keeps fucking going on to my fucking thing and fucking putting sexual ads on it. Anyway, we're gonna start off with the Nolan High One viewer, the Nolan Batman movies. Starting off with Batman Begins, which I fucking love. I'm going to see the Batman in 3 hours, 2 hours. I don't know. Um, but this movie is the first of the Dark Knight trilogy. It was directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale as Batman, who so far I haven't seen Robert Pattinson's yet. Is the second best Batman next to I say Michael Keaton. Um, oh no, actually, no, I don't know. That's hard. Val Kilmer was great as well, but it's better than George fucking Clooney. Um, this I love this movie, but it stars Christian Bale as Batman. You got fucking Michael Caine as Alfred. He was my favorite Alfred, by the way. You've got uh Carmine Falcone in this one, who's played by who the fuck is the actor play? I don't know. I get that. Um, you've got Killian Murphy as Scarecrow. You've got uh Katie Holmes. I love Katie Holmes as Rachel. Rachel. Sorry. Um, and you've got what else you have in there? Yeah, you've Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. Fucking just an amazing cat. You've also got Rutger Hauer in it as well. You got Morgan Freeman as Lucius. Sorry, this thing is just yeah. Anyway, so basically, what the plot of Batman Begins is: got a man by the name Bruce Wayne. Essentially, he has been gone for 7 years. He's kind of after going poor a little bit. He's in a different country, fighting against people who are being dickheads. Gets thrown out of a place, thrown into this prison. He meets a guy played by Liam Neeson called Ra's al Ghul, who is part of this group called the League of Shadows, which is this kind of like vigilante kind of group. So essentially, he trains Bruce Wayne to deal with his pain because he has a lot of pain from Thomas Wayne, sorry. Anyway, that was cringe. So basically, dropping them fucking bars. Anyway, basically, um, they do different things like fight on the ice, sword fighting on the ice. He falls through it. He's like, "Oh, your parents said it wasn't your fault; it was your father's," and just all of these different things, and gets him to deal with his past and drinks this stuff and picks a certain flower and all this and basically trains him even like in the shadows like against this ninja Ra's al Ghul, and he's like you need to know your enemy and stuff, and then he comes up behind Bruce Wayne comes up behind and all that, which is Liam Neeson, which is great. But Liam Neeson doesn't fully go as Ra's al Ghul. It's actually this Asian guy he's in the recent Godzilla movies. He's in Inception, Detective Pikachu. Sorry, I don't know the actor's name. Um, but basically, we get flashbacks to Bruce Wayne as a kid. We get a lot more. This is the most detailed out of all of the origin stories. This is a full-on origin. First time we actually seen it properly on the big screen. So essentially, he was a kid and playing with Rachel. Like the opening scene of the movie is actually him playing with Rachel as a kid, and they're friends, whatever. And then he falls through the fucking hole, and a bunch of bats fly out of him. So we get that kind of scene, and then that's when we cut to present day of him doing whatever the fuck in that one place. And then later on we kind of see more of his origin, like him and his father coming down, picking him up, bringing him back in, and Alfred bringing him back into the bed and say, "Why do we fall, Bruce?" It's like, oh, he's like, is it the bats again? He's like, yeah, I'm afraid. It's like, why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up, which is the most amazing quote and most motivational quote in this movie. Um, oh fucking hell, lads! I'm trying to hold that in. Fuck me. Anyway, um, so essentially, like, we learn about Gotham City a bit more, like how he owns the city, on the train, the subway, how he owns everything. He goes to this show and ends up getting really fucking scared. So he's like, "Can we please leave?" So they leave early, and then a guy comes along and kills his two parents in front of him. And I think, this and the Joker are my favorite iterations of the death of the Waynes, because I like how he tries to reason with him a little bit. Um, how he's like, "Come on, take it easy. Give me your wallet." It's like, take it easy. Take it easy. Give me the pearls. Let it go. And then he just fucking shoots her. And he's like, "No," and he tries to jump in and get shot. Um, and then years later, Bruce Wayne comes back to Gotham, and he wants revenge on the people, on the guy that killed his parents. He's like, "I'm sorry, the guy's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I regret it. You know, there was this Great Depression in Gotham City. We find it hard to work. Falcone owns most of the fucking places, and like, it deals with like the depression and money crisis, essentially." And I'm trying to think else, what else. Yeah. So essentially, he goes back to try and he reunites Rachel. Alfred goes back to try and kill whatchamacallit, uh the guy. This is actually just before I think he goes with the League of Shadows. He goes back to try and kill the guy, but he ends up being assassinated by one of Falcone's men. Um, like, hey, in the courtroom scene, like, we understand as a member of the Wayne family, and then Rachel like slaps Bruce Wayne, saying, "Your father would be ashamed," you know. Eventually, we cut to the present again. Uh, Bruce Wayne is told to execute this guy when he passed the League of Shadows thing test, but he's like, nah. When he takes the kind of hallucinogenics, he's like, nah, I won't become an executioner. So we already know that this movie understands Batman. Whereas, I'm sorry, as much as I love the first three original movies, they didn't understand Batman, but this one does. So he ends up burning the place down. Although, okay, yeah, this part he does actually end up killing someone. Burns the place down. Fights Ra's al Ghul, who nearly dies. He saves his life. Then they think he's dead. Then eventually he goes back to Gotham. And I know I'm basically just summing up the movie, but it's a big fucking plot, lads. Come on, give me a break. So he goes back to Gotham. He's like, all right. And he got Mortal Kine. Mortal Kine-ish. I got Mortal Kine as Alfred. And he goes, "The ruby, the size of a tangerine." He says that at one point. So he comes back and he's like, "Alfred, I'm working on something. I don't want to I have something to do. I want to bring peace to Gotham City, but I can't do that as Bruce Wayne." We also have this amazing scene where, after Rachel like slaps him and stuff and goes down and explains what's happening in the city, he goes and fucking intimidates Carmine Falcone. And he's like, "You're upset because your mommy and daddy are dead." And he's like, "Come on, ID," and all that. He's like, "I'm not afraid of you." And it just shows that vengeance side of him. So, yeah. Then what else happens? So, uh, okay. So he goes back, builds the Batcave, builds some stuff in it. He's like, "I know what you done with the place." Adds the bat, and then he starts making the symbol, the batarangs, the suit. He's like, "Why bats?" He's like, "Bats are what frighten me, and I want to bring fear to those who put fear on others." And yeah, we also have whatchamacallit, Commissioner Gordon in this movie. How did I forget to mention him? Gary Oldman plays Commissioner Gordon, and he is the best Commissioner Gordon we have so far. I haven't seen Jeffrey Wright yet, but out of the ones I've seen, I haven't seen Gotham, this series, but he's the best one. You know, when he dies, he puts his jacket around him and goes, uh, we'll get him, son, you know. And then the other commissioner comes in, he's like, um, we'll get, we'll get him, everything will be okay. But then what ends up happening is like, uh, they find out who the man is, but like, Commissioner Gordon's not commissioner yet. Yeah. Anyway, so um, basically, what ends up happening then is, he comes back. He meets with this guy in a company played by Morgan Freeman called Lucius. He's like, oh, and he's like, he's trying to build this different suit and testing out different things. He originally has a prototype suit, a fake suit, jumps and goes, "Hey, you're a good cop," to Morgan, to fucking Gary Oldman, and he has the fucking stapler, and then they run, and he falls over, and there's great chase scene. And he's like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, just some nut." And then eventually, what ends up happening is he ends up experimenting with different things, all cave diving. He's like, "I don't care what you're doing; it's none of my business." And then he's testing out different like capes and different gadgets, and he keeps going back to Lewis. He's like, "Don't mistake me for a fool." And then he sees the tumbler, and he's like, "What's that?" "Oh, he wouldn't be interested in that." And then he gets it, and then they drive around it. It's like, it was originally used for this, that, and the other. And he's like, "Does it come in black?" So then he makes the Batmobile. Then he starts making the costume, and then a good chunk into the movie, he becomes Batman. There's a dirty cop doing shit with Falcone. Not not that type of shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, so then basically he becomes Batman and starts fucking the criminals up left and right, trying to save Lucius, and he's trying to figure out what's happening, who's smuggling drugs in. There's also been this weapon that's been stolen, this big weapon that they designed that's been stolen, and all that other stuff. Meanwhile, we also have the other villain of the movie, Scarecrow, played by Cillian Murphy, who's a doctor that works with Rachel. Uh, Rachel basically goes, whatchamacallit? Rachel basically fucking goes, and says, like, "Doctor, you can't be doing stuff like this." And like, he's been doing these weird experiments, and eventually it's like, "Oh yeah, doing all these weird things." And he's kind of doing deals with Falcone and talking to him, and eventually Falcone is attacked and put in a mental institution, or this prison or whatever. It's like, and then all of a sudden, the shiny demon in the middle of the road. No joke. Basically, what ends up happening is he gets this mask that he's working on called Scarecrow, causes Falcone to go crazy, and then he's like, "Scarecrow," and eventually he starts wanting to fuck people up in Gotham. Batman's fucking bad guys up left and right, trying to help out Gary Oldman. You get a great, amazing chase scene in the fucking Batmobile, and eventually fights the Scarecrow, gives him a taste of his own medicine. Scarecrow's in Arkham Asylum, or an insane asylum, some fucking place anyway. Ra's al Ghul ends up coming back as Liam Neeson at one of the Wayne's parties. He does go to the parties in this. We get this amazing finale where they fight the Scarecrow. Scarecrow gets tasered by fucking Rachel. We find out the Scarecrow works for Ra's al Ghul. They're trying to bring toxic in the city. Batman fights Ra's al Ghul, fights him on the subway. The subway breaks and falls, and then he saves the day. The Wayne Manor also gets burned to the ground by Ra's al Ghul, similar to how Bruce Wayne burned something down. And basically saves the day, and the movie ends with Gary Oldman saying, "Oh, we have another," like shining to that bat signal and talking to, or Commissioner Gordon talking and saying there's someone else on the run, gives him a card, and it's the Joker card, and he's like, "I'll look into it," because essentially Ra's al Ghul caused a bunch of insane criminals to escape the prisons, Arkham Asylum, all that shit. And one of them is the Joker. The Joker's not in this movie, but we do get a hint who is set, and he is set up for this fucking great movie. So that was, I know I basically summed up the plot. That's the plot of Batman Begins. Jesus, I took a long time to explain this, but this movie's great. Where do I begin? Okay, one of the things I love about this movie is, this might be a longer review actually, is how dark it is. I love the Christopher Nolan feel, how he brought his own direction to it. I love the origin. The origin is what I love about it. It really is great. It takes its time developing Bruce Wayne. There's simple scenes like when he's on the subway with his parents, like, we built a city, we need to, make sure, give money to more less fortunate people, and it's a very likable version of Thomas Wayne. He's like the exact opposite that he was in the Joker. And then I love the they go to see Phantom of the Opera or some shit, and he's having like flashbacks to the bats. He's like, "Can we go, please?" And then just that scene that leads to the Wayne's death is fucking tense. He's like, "Take it easy, take it easy." And he shoots him. We see Bruce Wayne develop as a character. Starts off getting thrown out and hit and put in prison. He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Ra's al Ghul." And then there's the part where he's by the fire and say, "My wife and kids were gone. My wife let me. My wife died," and all that. And they have the amazing sequence that's really well choreographed of them fighting on the ice. Like, he wants to kill. He wants to kill the guy that done it, and he gets the gun, and then the guy gets shot. And then Rachel's like, "Your father would be ashamed." And then at the end of the movie, he's like, "Well, you know, your father would be proud." And then they kiss. But then she's like, "I don't really want to get with you because, of what you're doing and all that. But one day you can wait and we can be together and all that shit." Um, so yeah, that's it with that. Um, I love that. I love the flashbacks of him as a kid, as I said. The League of Shadows thing, that fucking powerful moment when when he's like about to execute the guy, and he's like, "No, I won't be an executioner." Then that amazing fucking fight scene where he's fucking people up left and right. The guy dies, the place burns down. He saves Ra's al Ghul. The cinematography and the look of Gotham is great. Uh, it's different. There's a lot of great moments of the city, like shots. Um, the finale with everyone going crazy, and like, Scarecrow being a fucking intimidating villain with the Scarecrow and all that, and like Rachel fucking tases him and he goes off with a horse. Um, and you got the cops taking over the city and pushing the kid away. He's like, "I can't find my mommy." The kid's actually played by the actor that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. There's 3 Irish actors in this movie. I like how different it is to the other two in the series as well. Like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises have very similar vibes. This one feels the most different. It's also the only one in the trilogy that has Batman in the title. But yeah, I like that. I liked Morgan Freeman. I thought he was great. "Oh, you wouldn't be interested in that," that kind of stuff. And then like when Rutger Hauer's character fucking fires him and shit. Um, and then he comes back and he's like, "I thought I fired you," and he's like, "Oh, you did, but I have a new job now. Yours. Yeah, see, I bought the building," and all that. And I love that Bruce Wayne says that. And then the part where he comes back was iconic. He's like, "Are you on the list?" "Yeah." Name, please." He's like, "Bruce Wayne." And he's like, "What?" No, he goes back to the building and Wayne Enterprises, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here to see Lucius or whatever." It's like, "Oh, name Bruce Wayne." It's like, "What?" And then they're playing mini golf, and it's just badass. And I love the moments where he's making the suit and all that shit. Gary Oldman is great. I love like seeing him with his wife and kids, and he's like, "Just some nut," and all that. And then like then when they're shooting at him, he's like, "Hold your fire!" And he jumps down. Um, I love the fucking chase scene with the Batmobile with the cops. Like, he's like fucking crazy, and then he's like, they're chasing a black tank, and he's like, "Call back up." Never mind. I love that humor. The humor was actually very good in this movie. They don't overdo it though. And then he fucking shoots the fucking thing and it's jumping over buildings and then like uh all that stuff. And I love the part where like Alfred's like, what are you doing there? You know, what the fuck is that you're doing and all that? And he's like, what do you call that there? And he's like, damn good television. Um, I love the opening with the bats making the symbol at the start and just that fear. I think the suit is really great and I like the build up to it. Um, Falcone, you know, we get loads of scenes with him. Let's do this. You got them's problem and all that, and then like they're doing different drug deals, and then fucking just get this amazing fucking sequence where people are like, and Batman's fucking coming in like from the shadows and pulling people aside, throwing them away, fucking them up left and right. He's like, "Where are you? What are you?" He's like, "Where are you?" When he comes behind him, here, pulls him and shit like that, throws him away. Um, I love the fucking part where what's it? He's fucking people up and they're fucks them all up, and then like he's just like Falcone's like, "What the hell are you?" And he breaks him down, fucking pulls him up and goes, "I'm Batman." Throws him, and then he goes, "Nice coat," and then pulls up and goes, "It is a nice coat." And I actually love that because we also see the human side of Bruce Wayne when he goes to the homeless man earlier. He's like, "Here, I'll have your coat. Here you go. Oh, that is a nice coat." Um, the ending, like it's dark. Like it's a dark movie. There's parts where like the criminals are escaping, and the acid's going all over the city, and hallucinogenics are happening, and people are seeing fucking bats and crazy shit, and like the criminals are about to come over to the guy to them, and then Batman fucks them up left and right. He's fucking was like, "Take this," and goes off, and it's just an amazing sequence. And Batman, the whole finale with him fucking people up left and right, going through the city, the whole fucking chase scene with the fucking Batmobile, the fucking fight scene with Ra's al Ghul on the train. You know, he's like, "Yeah, fucking him up," and then like the train, and he has the bat thing. He's like, "You can't kill me," and he goes, "I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you." And then he flies off, and the fucking thing crashes. Um, I love that. Love the way he uses bats. I love the scenes with Scarecrow when he's fighting him and shit. In the warehouse, and he lights Batman on fire, and he jumps out, and like he goes, "Here you go," and he ends up giving him like this hallucinogenics or whatever, and ends up fucking him up, and he's like, "Taste your own medicine," and he's like, "Ah," and he imagines him as a fucking monster, and he falls out, and he's on fire, and he's like, "Alfred, help me, Alfred, Alfred," and they drive him back to the Batcave, and they try to help him out on the thing, and then like there's a part even where Rachel gets fucked up, and they have to bring her back and help her out. But I thought Katie Holmes done a great job. Um, what else? I love the scene like where the guys are trying to attack Rachel on the subway, and Batman comes down and fuck it, like she's about to like she's trying to propose out something, and Batman fucks both them up, and like or no, doesn't fuck him up. He just comes, and then they run off. And she's like, "Yeah, you better run." And if she sees him, and then like hits the taser, he's like, "Falcone said you were away. Who is he?" And I like the way he's trying to like find out more information. Um, and I like the dirty cop who's a fucking dickhead, and the rain and taking the hot dogs and shit. Um, I like when Commissioner Gordon argues with the guys like, "We got to take this guy down," and all this stuff. Um, you know, I just thought Gary Oldman done a great job. Uh, you know, he was in it a lot as well. I like, you know, how he's like, we gotta find it. Falcone is this, we gotta stop him and all that. Like whatever. We got nice cop scenes between them and arguing and like talking to Batman, and he just done the accent really well. We also just get that scene where Batman like fucking like he does shoot up with the fucking bat thingy, thingy, the grappling hook. I love when he like gets the guy. He's like, "Ah," and he's turning upside down, and he's like, "Where is he?" He's like, I don't know," and all this stuff, and he's like, "Where is he?" He's like, "I swear, I don't know. I swear to God, swear to me." And then he's like, throws him down, and he picks the guy up, and then, you know, I love that scene. That was great. I was literally about to say another scene, but I think that other scene was in The Dark Knight. The one I was about to say, yeah, it was. But I love this movie. I love the music. The dun 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 dun, and like I love how dark it is. I love the music, the fucking action, the build up, the fucking acting, the cinematography, the writing, the realistic feel. Like it's a realistic movie. Um, and it's just a great fucking film. It's a great origin. It has a lot of great action. It actually is the shortest of the three of them, and it's 140 minutes. Still a long movie, but it's a short. It's 2 hours 20 minutes, but still a fucking the shortest of the three of them. Um, I love when Scarecrow goes crazy and they're asking him questions, and he's like, "Scarecrow, oh, it's too late. You can't stop it." And I love the part where Batman comes out and the kid's like, "It's you. Everybody's after you. The other kids won't believe me. Everyone's talking about you. The other kids won't believe me." And he just goes off. I fucking love it. I love the ending. I love the fucking crazy fight scene and the mansion. Am I pronouncing this right? Ra's al Ghul, and he's fighting people left and right. I love when he walks into the dinner and he's like, a guy dressed like a bat clearly has issues. I like when he has the two girls over in the pool. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry. I love when he has the two girls in the pool, and they're like, sir, you can't have them in the pool. It's like, oh yeah, I'm buying this building. Then he sees to Rachel, and he's explaining like, all this, it's not me. I love the part where he makes the speech at the party. He's like, please, thanks for coming and taking all my booze. And he's like, oh, please, do me a favor and get out, all you fake phonies smiling through your teeth. I just love that. Go, go. I love that. Fuck fake people. And then I want to talk about Michael Caine. I love his Alfred. I've said it before. I know what you've done with the place. I love the. I've seen it the size of a ruby, the size of a tangerine. I love the scene where he fucking uh where he's like, Master Wayne, and the fucking thing is on him, and he's trying to pick it up. It's like, what's the point in you doing all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody log? I like when he wakes up and he's like, how long was I out for? He's like, 2 days, 2 days, and Lucius comes over and he's like, will you be here, sir? And he's like, all that type of shit. I like that. I like when he's walking up and he's like, you know, he's like, I've buried enough members of the Wayne family. Like, he just feels like such a layered character. I love the scene where he goes up and Alfred's like, where Bruce Wayne's crying. He's like, Alfred, it's my fault that the day. He's like, no, it's not. It's not. And he's like, if I wasn't afraid, this wouldn't happen if I wasn't afraid. It's like, no, it's not. And then I love when Alfred says the lesson, why do we fall, sir? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up. I love the part where they're going to rebuild it, talking to Rachel. I love that. I love the relationship he has between Alfred and this film. So, guys, honestly, this is an amazing reboot. I love this movie. I would honestly give it a 9 out of 10. The only thing, like, I actually don't mind the Batman voice in this one. I didn't feel like it was as over the top as it is in the next two, particularly this one. Like, I love this movie, but Jesus Christ, his voice in this is just over the top. So this is, I believe, a triple play. Is it? No, double play. So this is Blu-ray and a DVD. Obviously, I watched the Blu-ray. So here's the front, spine, back, and the inside. I also like how it just returns back to the dark tone. Yeah. What else? There was one other thing I think I wanted to say. Yeah, I remember when this came out. I've seen this multiple times. This is probably the Batman movie. This and The Dark Knight are probably the ones I've watched the most. out of all of them. I've seen Dark Knight Rises a couple of times, but I've seen these two more. Honestly, I've had this Blu-ray pack for 6 years, but I couldn't get it. The trilogy went out of print or something. I don't know. We couldn't get the trilogy. I have the Dark Knight Rises, but yeah. But I rewatched this recently. Honestly, I would say that this is a fucking long review. Fucking hell, I spent half an hour talking about it. I'm gonna say that this might be my last Batman review before I see the Batman. I don't know. I could review this in a bit and The Dark Knight Rises, but I don't know. I will get to them, but I might review the Batman first. I don't know. So, yeah, that's basically it. Like shit. That's what I used to say. So, bye.